Good afternoon. My name is Troy Harris. I'm 34 years old. I'm a teacher at Assumption College, Ubon Ratchathani. I've been in Thailand for 8 years, and the grade levels that I teach are primary 5 and 6 as of now. I've almost always been a primary teacher. So being a primary teacher, I'm not very familiar with kindergarten or secondary students in classrooms. However, along with some of my colleagues, I came up with a list of some ideas that we can use or incorporate in classes to motivate our Thai students and get them to learn English better. Okay, so the purpose of the talk today is to make a list first of motivational ideas for kindergarten students, and then we follow that up with a few more ideas on how to motivate secondary students. So regarding motivating kindergarten students, the most important thing I personally believe is to keep things interesting. With learners at that young age, things always have to be interesting and things have to be changed up. Otherwise, it gets boring for them and then they start to fall asleep or nod off. So you have to keep things interesting, which means like every now and during the course of a 55-minute class, like you probably teach for like 5 minutes and then you incorporate some sort of a song or some sort of an action or a dance or some kind of a movement activity where they're not just sitting in their seats but they get up and they do things. You could also incorporate visual and audio exercises, because colors and vibrancy will motivate students and it'll get them to be more excited. They'll remember things because it's more exciting, more colorful. Second, I would say repetition. Through repetition and interaction with younger kids, you can keep them motivated. They like to feel involved. They like to feel that things revolve around them. So if you interact with them, motivate them, it'll feel better. Then another thing to do is, one of my teachers suggested was use cartoon characters or animal characters that the children are familiar with. Use those characters in classroom activities. Like for example, you can say, so what would SpongeBob do in that sort of situation if you're teaching prepositions or something? And they would be excited just the fact that you're talking about SpongeBob and keep them interested. Also, we can use like different activities with cartoons as examples to make it fun and exciting for the students. I think kindergarten students, they like you need to use a lot of flashcards. You need to get them to repeat things. They have to be able to associate by color or by letters or by sound. So you have to do a lot of repetition. Maybe if you teach them something, repeat it for the next few times so that it stays in their mind. Now we move on to motivating secondary students. So secondary students are slightly more mature than, not slightly, they're a lot more mature than kindergarten students. So for them, we can go ahead and explain the benefits of learning, the benefits of studying English, how it will affect them directly, be it when they travel abroad, be it when they have to communicate online, be it if they go to universities, how it affects them directly. Also, it's very important to explain the objectives. Explain the objective for the semester and also the objectives for each and every lesson for them. That way, they know what's expected of them. And then the teacher and the student can try to move towards a common goal. Something else that also really helps is group and individual feedback. Like teachers can give them group feedback, teachers can give them individual feedback. They can also get positive peer feedback from their friends. These things can be pre-decided upon by the teacher, and the students help one another by giving each other feedback, but positive only. Time frame motivation also helps students. Like you give them a time frame. Okay, you have to finish so and so assignment in so and so time, because some students take a lot more time, but you have to get them to know, okay, it's you have to, if you focus on the main points and do what's important, it's much better than focusing on small details that sometimes aren't necessary. Group responsibility: if they have to do an activity in a group, they should be responsible for other members of the group and they work as a team. It's like united they stand or divide they fall. So the concept of group responsibility will motivate the students because they'll feel personally responsible. Also, peer teaching and interaction, like the students who finish their work in advance, you can always get them to go ahead and help the students who are finding things a little bit difficult. That way the students can learn from their friends. They are not so embarrassed that the teacher singles them out. Secondly, the students who already know the job, who already know the lesson well, they can go ahead and explain in their own words the way that the way that it was easy for them to understand. Also, we move on to reward and punishment. With a focus on reward, I think like you can set rewards for students, be it scores, be it any other kind of rewards that are necessary for them. And of course, punishment in cases where it becomes repeated offenses. And it should be constructive punishment as well, not something relating to like corporal punishment, but more according to the lines of, let's say, okay, this is your homework, go back and do a book review, because that would be beneficial for them if it's, let's say, a literature lesson or a language lesson. So these are some of the ideas that I came up with to motivate students of kindergarten and secondary levels. I hope you find it useful. Thank you for your time and have a great day.